Does success mean being recognized? There is something deeply human about the desire to be seen, acknowledged, appreciated for our efforts and achievements. The child runs to show their drawing to parents. The student hopes their essay will be praised. The employee works late hoping their dedication will be noticed. Recognition becomes the mirror in which we see our own worth reflected back to us. But observe what actually happens when recognition arrives. A writer publishes their first book and receives glowing reviews. The validation feels intoxicating. External confirmation that their work has value, that their voice matters, that they have succeeded. But within weeks, the glow fades and new questions arise. Will the next book be as well received? Was this success just luck? What if the critics were wrong? The recognition that was supposed to provide lasting satisfaction reveals itself to be as temporary as the morning dew. This is not unique to writers. The promoted executive discovers that new title brings new pressures. The awarded scientist finds that accolades create expectations for continued brilliance. The celebrated artist learns that fame can become a prison of public expectation. Recognition, it turns out, is a double-edged gift. It provides temporary validation while creating permanent dependency on external approval. But what happens when we observe this mechanism more closely? When we examine the relationship between our sense of worth and others' acknowledgement of that worth, watch someone whose work goes unrecognized despite being excellent. A teacher who transforms lives but receives no awards. A janitor who brings genuine care to their work but remains invisible to most. A parent who loves skillfully but gets no public acknowledgement for their dedication. According to conventional measures, these people are not successful. Yet they may experience deep satisfaction from their engagement with their activities. Their sense of fulfillment comes not from external validation, but from the intrinsic value of what they do. This suggests that recognition and success may exist in entirely different dimensions of human experience. There are artists who create in complete obscurity, yet report profound satisfaction with their creative process. Scientists who pursue research that may never be published, but find deep meaning in the investigation itself. Individuals who contribute to their communities in ways that will never be celebrated but experience genuine fulfillment from their service. These people have discovered something remarkable, that the value of an activity does not depend on whether others recognize that value. But the conditioning towards seeking recognition runs remarkably deep. From childhood, we learn to measure our worth through others' responses. Good grades bring parental approval. Social skills bring peer acceptance. Achievements bring recognition and praise. The external validation becomes so intertwined with our sense of self that we begin to believe our worth is determined by others' acknowledgement of it. This creates a peculiar form of slavery. The person addicted to recognition must constantly perform for an audience, must maintain standards that others will approve, must shape their efforts toward what will be seen and appreciated, rather than toward what they find genuinely meaningful. The recognition seeker often finds themselves in the strange position of succeeding publicly while failing privately. They receive the applause they sought but lose connection to the authentic motivation that originally inspired their efforts. But this observation raises an interesting question. Is it possible to appreciate recognition without being addicted to it? Can we receive acknowledgement gracefully while maintaining independence from the need for it? Watch someone who has developed a healthy relationship to recognition. When their work is acknowledged, they feel genuine appreciation, not because their worth has been confirmed, but because recognition can create opportunities for greater service, wider contribution, deeper engagement with their chosen activities. When their work goes unnoticed, they continue with the same engagement because their satisfaction comes from the work itself rather than from others' responses to it. They neither seek recognition compulsively nor reject it defensively. This person has discovered that true success lies in the quality of engagement rather than in the quantity of acknowledgement. They measure their effectiveness by their own deepening understanding, growing skill, increasing contribution, or expanding capacity to serve. Metrics that are independent of public recognition. Perhaps the deepest success is invisible to external observation. the parent who remains patient during a difficult moment, the friend who listens without needing to offer solutions, the person who responds with kindness when kindness is neither expected nor rewarded. These moments of authentic response, of genuine engagement, of spontaneous appropriateness, they may be the most successful moments of human existence. Yet they leave no trace in the external world's record-keeping systems. This is not an argument against recognition or achievement. Public acknowledgement can serve valuable purposes. It can inspire others, create opportunities for collaboration, provide resources for continued work. The question is whether we can engage with recognition skillfully rather than desperately. Can we work excellently whether or not anyone is watching? Can we contribute meaningfully whether or not anyone acknowledges our contribution? Can we find satisfaction in the intrinsic value of our engagement, rather than in others' evaluation of it? There is a quality of success that has nothing to do with external validation. It emerges when someone discovers that their worth does not depend on others' recognition of that worth. It appears when engagement becomes its own reward, when contribution becomes its own satisfaction, when the activity itself provides all the confirmation needed. In this understanding, recognition becomes a pleasant surprise rather than a desperate need. Praise becomes appreciation rather than validation. Success becomes a quality of being rather than a quantity of achievement. What is this fulfillment that needs no audience to be complete? This success that requires no recognition, this satisfaction that emerges not from being seen, but from the simple joy of engaging fully with whatever life presents.